Okay guys, what we got going on here, so we got a few mags here, and we got my 7.62x39 AKM here. This is a WASR 10. It's pretty recent manufacture. It looked kind of oily because I just got done wiping off some surface rust. But anyway, I've had the rifle for a while. Absolutely no issues. Actually performs pretty well. But here recently, I've been getting some failure to feeds, which is obviously pretty uncommon for an AK platform. And I've been trying to figure out what's going on, and I'm pretty sure I have it figured out here. But I was just going to show something here. Right here we've got a Tabco magazine. Not a lot of people like them. They're really cheap. They're not metal reinforced, but this thing, I'm gonna put my foot here, there's very little wobble to this mag and no forward to rear for the most part. I have zero issues out of this mag. As much as you want to say about Tabco, zero issues. This is a Plinker Tactical, I believe. Again, polymer magazine. Fits in slight front to rear, but not much. And probably the same or maybe even a little bit less side to side wobble as a Tabco. Again, zero issues out of that one. Now we have mag pull. Again, not metal reinforced in any way. About the same, maybe a little bit more side to side wobble than the other two, but just a tad bit of front to rear. Zero malfunctions out of this mag. But now we come to my favorite mags, which are these Polish steel surplus mags. They go in fine, but I don't know if you guys can see just how much, a lot of forward to rear play. It's got some side to side. I think you pretty much can't find an AK mag that's gonna not have some side to side wobble. But I bought this mag for hunting and bench rest shooting because I got the scope on it. This is a little Arsenal, really good quality mag, 10 rounder. And get this thing in here. And I've got the same issues, forward to rear wobble, not much side to side, but forward to rear. And when I'm figuring out what's going on here is the rear locking tab on these two mags is a little bit thinner than it is on the polymer mags. So, especially with the steel mags, what's going on, I think, is this magazine is slopping forward, and I'm not sure if I can get this thing to do it or not. Fed that one. Okay, here we go. Right here. We have the bolt is over the top of the case. So basically the magazine is, let me get this cleared so it's safe. Okay, here's that round. Okay, so what we have is the mag's not being held up high enough to where the base of the cartridge can be caught by the back or by the face of the bolt to be shoved into the chamber. So we're getting on top of it and it's basically binding up like this. So I did a little bit of asking around. I didn't know if I was gonna have to buy all new mags. I really didn't want to replace these because these are a pretty good deal and it's steel mag and you pretty much just can't beat, military surplus mag when it comes to AKs. So I got to asking around, and some of these WASRs are known for having a magazine release tab that's a little bit out of spec. And so I did a little bit of research, and it didn't take me very long to come up with this right here. This is the M+M or M+M MLR, the magazine release lever. MRL, sorry. And I'll take it out of the package real quick here. Set this down. Okay, right here you can see, instead of just being basically like this on the factory mag release, the MRL has this, and it supposedly will keep your magazines tight even as this tab wears out. And I read articles where this guy intentionally took a Dremel or a file, took it to his rear magazine tabs, and basically filed them down to where nobody would probably ever get them down to that point. And they were still working. The MRL was still holding the magazine very tight, and he was having 0 malfunctions. So I'm going to remove this. I'm not going to have a video on how to do it. There's plenty of those online, but I'm going to remove the factory one, install this one, and we'll see if the problem persists. Okay guys, we are back. Got this little thing installed. Wasn't too bad. I mean, just had to get rid of that old rivet. And you can see it's got a pin with a little E-clip retainer on the side. Fit right in. You might notice that's a little discolored. I boogered up the finish a little bit, so I just dusted it with a little bit of engine enamel. No big deal. You know, it's an AK, so oh well. Anyway, I've already put a couple mags in it to test something out. And we're gonna go with our Polish surplus again. Locks in there nice and easy. It's not difficult, you know, to snap in there like I've seen in some of the videos. Still goes in there pretty easily. There is 0 forward to rear wobble in this thing anymore. You still got a little bit of side to side, but I'm a pretty firm believer that no side to side wobble really ever killed an AK's reliability. I mean, I've got this AK-74 545. And some of the most reliable, best mags I have are super wobbly side to side. So no big deal. I might eventually put one of these on that rifle too, just if it bugs me, which it doesn't. Anyway, I've also done a function test just before I started filming. And we'll do it again for you guys here. Rifle's on fire. Let's get the safety out of the way. And I guess things, okay, and I'm not gonna ride the bolt. We are all the way in battery. You can hear that thing go across the garage. And now we are empty. 0 failures. Okay, we're gonna go with the little arsenal. And this thing has always been a little booger to get in my rifle, but now snaps really good in place. There is 0, and I mean 0 wobble in this mag now. All right, we're gonna do the same thing. We are empty. So, altogether, shipping and all, a little $35, $40 part saved my rifle and is allowing me to use my hell and back reliable steel magazines. One thing I am going to point out to you guys though, okay, I would rather, I mean, I have these Magpul mags as range mags. I know a lot of you guys like them. I would not trust my life to these mags, even the newer ones that have the steel locking tabs, because they do not have steel reinforced feed lips. And now I know a lot of guys are saying, oh, well, the P mags are fine. There are tons and tons of evidence and threads and such on the internet, on Facebook, you name it, where these feed lips crack. So, I mean, 12, 13 bucks. I mean, it's not a bad mag for the range, but if you really want to trust, you know, if you got to trust your life to it or your family's life, you need to get something, you know, something made for battle. But anyway, like I pointed out before we started this whole thing, these mags were still fitting in this thing tightly before the part upgrade, and I was having zero feed issues. But now, I mean, it's not coming out, but this thing is not, it's not totally locking up on the tab on this one. I'll still probably fart around with these things at the range, but you know, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over not being able to use my Magpul mags over. I was kind of not really losing sleep, but I was fretting not being able to reliably feed out of my good hell and back reliable surplus magazines. But anyway, if you're having problems with your WASR or any other mag, I just know the WASRs are prone to this issue. This little part, man, it'll save the day. Anyway, I hope this video solves some questions for some of you guys if you're having similar issues. Anyway, if you get one, hope it works out for you. Have a good one.